walked into the booth today, and we had a local guy, a Taiwanese baseball fan, who said this is the biggest baseball game in the history of this island coming up today, as Chinese Taipei, with a win, moves on to the quarterfinal round. With a loss and a Cuba win, things are all kinds of craziness, and today, a jam-packed ballpark to pay witness to this final day. Elian Leyva, who you see last year pitched in Mexico, this year he will pitch here in Taiwan, and he's trying to knock out the host team.
Yeah, take a look at Elian Leyva. You mentioned he's just signed here to come to Taiwan, but has spent the majority the past couple of years in Mexico. He's played some winter ball. He's got that upper 90s fastball. What about the 10th man, this crowd? How big of an impact they've made?
And that is strikeout number 1 for Leyva as Chung went around. So out number 1 as Leyva's able to get back from that 2-1 count and earn his first K of the afternoon. Initially, Yu Chang, the former Cleveland prospect, back on New Year's Day, he said that he did not want to be chosen for this team.
I guarantee if you go back to the United States, a different man in relationship with this crowd.
Called strike 3. Yu Chang is retired, and that quiets the crowd. And with 2 away, it'll bring up Yen-Tsing Wu, who was the hottest hitter in the early days of this tournament for Chinese Taipei. Just 6 combined strikeouts in their 2 wins. Swing and a miss, and there is one as Elian Leyva puts a kink into that line. He's got 3 strikeouts in the first inning. Chinese Taipei struck out 4 times all night last night. And there's a look at today's starting pitcher, Shipeng Chen, who is a member of the Fuban Guardians in the CBBL.
Now, what a moment for this kid, too.
Moncada comes to the plate 3 for 13 in the Classic, but a double, 4 runs batted in, 2 hits in those first 2 games. Moncada, deep drive left center field, back on it, Chen reaching out, and that'll hop up over the fence. And it's a 1-out ground rule double for the White Sox third baseman.
It is amazing, Tyler, when your star players come back. They change the chemistry and the dynamic. This team's been together for weeks preparing for this tournament. Yoan Moncada and the man coming to the box, Luis Robert Jr., joined the team late. They talked about changing the dynamic and the chemistry.
Here in Taiwan, lefty deals on 0-2, and the liner out on a hop, too short. High throw, what a job. Oh, Yu Chang didn't come down on the bag, thought he did. And that will be an error charged to the shortstop, Kun Yu Chung, and it's first and second, 1 out. And you look in the batter's box right now, this is the nightmare scenario. First and second for one of the greatest hitters in the history of international baseball, and he delivers immediately. Alfredo Despaigne to the gap in right center. It'll plate Moncada, it will score Robert. It is a 2-run double, and Cuba is onto the board first, a 2-0 lead.
You know what, Tyler? We spent so much time focusing on Yoan Moncada and Luis Robert Jr., their first time coming back to play for Cuba. But how about the fixture on that national program for years and years is Despaigne, been around forever. And he has been wearing out that right center gap.
Risbel Barbaro Arruabarrena moved up to the 5 spot in the order.
You're limited in that elimination game.
Fly ball in the air and well struck to center. Back on it is Chishen Chen. Warning track, wall leaping, it's gone! Arruabarrena comes through, and Cuba has stunned this ballpark into silence. It's 4-0. So much about Chinese Taipei's ability to rally from that opening day loss. Cuba was 0-2.
And they just went off offensively. Sometimes it just takes 1 inning.
A legend in Taiwanese baseball, the man they call the Great King here in Taiwan. Young Wong, 29 years old, 3-2 coming to Wong. And a swing and a miss as Leyva has 4 strikeouts through 2 innings against a team that struck out 6 combined times in its previous 2 games. A tough start today for Shipeng Chen. Back at the top of the order to Roel Santos. The scary thing for Chinese Taipei is right now, if Cuba adds to this lead, Ryan, you mentioned the arms out of this bullpen are lethal for Cuba. I mean, you got guys from Nippon Professional Baseball throwing 98 to 100 who've had tremendous success in the arguably second best baseball league in the world. The grounder out to short. They'll get the out on the runner at second. Mujica is gone, but Yadier Drake scores. Roel Santos with an RBI fielder's choice. Tough Sunday afternoon for the Chinese Taipei starter has come to a close. Yoan Moncada, who doubled to left center field and scored a run in the first inning.
Going to challenge him 3-2.
On the way to Moncada. Crushed deep to right. Yoan Moncada leaving the yard.
He missed the fastball before in the 3-1 count. Then he gets another one, which is up in the strike zone, and didn't miss it.
This was following that last pitch, motioning to the dugout. Just something not right in that right arm. This inning started with Chinese Taipei manager Yue Ping Lin asking the umpires to check for any sort of foreign substance. The home plate umpire Nick Lentz went out to check Elian Leyva, and you see that shrug of, I'm not doing anything. I just got good stuff today. But the right arm ends up faltering for Elian Leyva, and he's out of this game. The other thing to keep in mind, though, is if this does turn into something that doesn't keep Leyva out for long term, if this Cuba team does advance, he leaves at 45 pitches.
Right.
So that's 1 day of rest, not the 4 days of rest, which would have wiped him out for any appearance in Tokyo.
Really strange, the fact he's out of the game.
He departs this game with a 6-0 lead, and a guy who helped build on it early, Arisbela Rubarena, drives one well to the opposite field, and leaping at the wall, what a catch by Cubain Lin! Oh my goodness, he saves another run!
You talk about some of the little things that changed the momentum, and this ball just kept drifting. Cubain Lin getting up on that wall. Out number 1.
Yadir Drake, the leadoff man, who had a single and a run scored, that 2-run second for Cuba. And he clubs this one into the gap in left center. And that'll get down for a leadoff extra base knock, as it's cut off out there by Jae-Shen Chen. And a leadoff double for Yadir Drake. So we go back to the top of the order, and Roel Santos, who is 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs. Santos goes hacking and lines one into left field, a base hit. He's going to have another RBI if Drake can find his way to the plate, which he does. And Cuba makes it a 7-0 lead in the 4th inning. 9 straight retired by Cuban pitching. Garcia trying to make it 10. Out to second. And he will. 10 straight sat down by Cuba's dominant pitching staff.
Last chance for this home crowd to enjoy watching their guys. As a national team, it's been 10 years.
And it won't happen in the 8th, as a foul out to Yoan Moncada wraps up the top half of this frame. Cuba will try to add to a 7-run lead, going to the bottom of the 8th in Taichung. Brian, the first 3 games of this World Baseball Classic, Chinese Taipei hitters struck out a combined 11 times. They have struck out 12 times today. And there's Yu Cheng with another drive to right center field, down for a base hit, and Chinese Taipei may get on the board. Winch and Wong around third. Yu Cheng, the Secretary of Defense, comes through again to get his team its first run.
Still has that heartbeat about in big moments. Yes, they're down 7. It's a last chance for this crowd to invest in this team.
Potentially the last bullet on the bench for Yue Ping Lin. Steps into the box right now. It's the pinch hitter, Chen Wei Chen. 1-2. On the ground to second, knocked down there, and the throw to first is in time. And Cuba explodes out of the first base dugout. 7-1 winners to wrap up their Pool A's day in Taiwan.